We changed the world and history right here where we're from. It's new beginning to you and me, cause we're not done. In our city, in our city, in our city, we're not done. I appreciate that.
Well, it's time for our daily bread. A word from on high, something that will change your perspective, or at least give you a new one. But either way, it is good for the soul. First of all, let me tell you about our sponsors of our show and of our daily bread. Of course, would be One Stop Wireless. Okay, One Stop Wireless, a great cell phone company located at 3445 Atlanta Highway, right on the corner of Atlanta Highway and Coliseum Boulevard, right next to the gas station right there. They do wonderful work. Their phones are great, and the service is top notch, top notch. And they don't even treat you like a number. They actually treat you like they're your cousin or something in there. That's what I'm talking about. I go there all the time to get all my phone that way. So now, if you want to give them a call, you can do that. You can, because they don't mind. 320-2988 is the number. 320-2988. And one of the nice things about they will do for you, they'll take that old phone of yours that you got in the drawer. Yeah, they can reactivate that thing for you, so you don't have to go out and buy a new phone every time Apple comes up with one. Anyway, but good morning to you. Our daily bread, a word from on high. I'm going to change your perspective. I'll give you another. Either way, it's good for the soul. Good morning. Oh, yeah. Thank you, Lord. Anyway, we'll be right back right after this. A word from on high.
It's good to pour out our hearts to God. Welcome. It's time for another word of encouragement from Our Daily Bread. Our writer for today is Tim Gustafson, and the writing for today is entitled Mercy's Lament. Her father blamed his illness on witchcraft. It was AIDS. When he died, his daughter, 10-year-old Mercy, grew even closer to her mother. But her mother was sick too, and 3 years later, she died. From then on, Mercy's sister raised the 5 siblings. That's when Mercy began to keep a journal of her deep pain. The prophet Jeremiah kept a record of his pain too. In the grim book of Lamentations, he wrote of atrocities done to Judah by the Babylonian army. Jeremiah's heart was especially grieved for the youngest victims. "My heart is poured out on the ground," he cried in chapter 2, "because my people are destroyed, because children and infants faint in the streets of the city." The people of Judah had a history of ignoring God, but their children were paying the price too. "Their lives ebb away in their mother's arms," wrote Jeremiah. We might have expected Jeremiah to reject God in the face of such suffering. Instead, he urged the survivors, "Pour out your heart like water in the presence of the Lord. Lift up your hands to him for the lives of your children." It's good, as Mercy and Jeremiah did, to pour out our hearts to God. Lament is a crucial part of being human. Even when God permits such pain, he grieves with us. Made as we are in his image, he must lament too. Now let's find hope as we turn to God's Word. Today's Our Daily Bread devotional scripture reading is from Lamentations chapter 2, verses 10 through 13 and 18 through 19. The elders of daughter Zion sit on the ground in silence. They have sprinkled dust on their heads and put on sackcloth. The young women of Jerusalem have bowed their heads to the ground. My eyes fail from weeping. I am in torment within. My heart is poured out on the ground because my people are destroyed, because children and infants faint in the streets of the city. They say to their mothers, "Where is bread and wine?" as they faint like the wounded in the streets of the city, as their lives ebb away in their mother's arms. What can I say for you? With what can I compare you, daughter Jerusalem? To what can I liken you, that I may comfort you, virgin daughter Zion? Your wound is as deep as the sea. Who can heal you? And now hear verses 18 through 19. The hearts of the people cry out to the Lord. You walls of daughter Zion, let your tears flow like a river, day and night. Give yourself no relief, your eyes no rest. Arise, cry out in the night, as the watches of the night begin. Pour out your heart like water in the presence of the Lord. Lift up your hands to him for the lives of your children who faint from hunger at every street corner. Now let's go to the Father in prayer. Dear God, thank you for your presence today. And as we come before you today, we know that many are experiencing great loss today. There's searing pain in relationships, financial distress, chronic pain that we're facing. And for whatever we're dealing with today, whatever dark and difficult situation we're facing, help us to learn how to pour out our hearts to you and find true comfort and healing in the good news of Jesus today. Thank you, Lord. And it is in Jesus' name that we pray. Amen. Today's encouragement was provided by Our Daily Bread Ministries. It's good to pour out our hearts to God. Welcome. It's time for another word of encouragement from Our Daily Bread. Our writer for today is Tim Gustafson, and the writing for
We got it. We good. Good morning to you. And as our young students over at the Macmillan International Academy, every morning they give us their rendition of the Lutheran on service right here in Montgomery. I got you. I got you on those. Now that's true. The Marines really do have the best looking uniform. I mean, there's hands down. There's just there's no argument about that. Okay, they got the best looking uniform out of all the brand service. Now, second would be the Navy. Okay, I love them white uniforms. Okay, they just look so good, especially that one movie called An Officer and a Gentleman. I mean, them boys were sharp. But anyway, that's a whole different story right there. So good morning to everybody. How's everybody doing? Hope everybody's doing well. Kind of like me. I'm feeling pretty good this morning. And you know what? I learned a thing or two in the last couple of weeks about electrolytes or whatever they call that stuff, electromagnetisms or whatever they call them, that you got to have in your body in order to keep your energy up. See, I don't. Where was I doing these classes in school? I don't remember these. Probably because I didn't play sports or anything. I mean, I did play one game of football, but that son was gonna try to hurt me, and he was on my team. So I said, no, we won't be doing any more football things. We just won't. Yeah, we won't be doing that. We won't do that. We won't do the football thing. Okay, we just can't do it. Okay. Well then, Dr. Joe, appreciate you. Yeah, we won't do the football thing. Although I did get one lick in. Okay, one lick, and then it was over, and the guy tried to hurt me. So I mean, listen. I mean, that's like I don't know, joining the army or the other team. I mean, come on, man. I'm supposed to be in your team. You trying to hurt me? I mean, the guy was actually trying to mess my knee up. I mean, what kind of human being is that? I can understand messing the other guy's knee up, but I'm his teammate. Now I will tell you that I was fast. I was fast. I really was fast. I wasn't fast enough, but I was kind of fast back in the day. But you're only 5'5". A lot of people can run you over at 5'5". As a matter of fact, just to show you what I mean, I know you guys are not going to believe this, and that's okay because there's a big time NFL player. We went to high school together. Big time NFL player. I put him on his big butt. Now, I will tell you that I paid a price for it. I did pay. But Nicky Ray Donaldson, now if I call Rome, Georgia right now and find him, he'll remember that. I put him on his butt. He was about 6'5", 250 pounds, but he came at a brother. Like I was supposed to get scared and just move. Oh, no. I put him on his big butt. Yeah, And if Nicky Ray ever comes I tried to get him on the show with Longshore one time. Nicky Ray was a big fella, and a pretty nice guy to be such a big guy, as a matter of fact. So I just put him on his. I just want to let you know that I wasn't scared of nobody. And sometimes that's not wise. Sometimes you ought to be scared of people. So I put him on his butt, but I'm the one that took a long time to get up. Because that boy, ooh, Nicky Ray Donaldson. Look him up. He played with the Indianapolis Colts for a minute. Friend of mine. Okay, he probably forgot all about me by now, but I did. Now we was on top of a hill because we were playing, schoolyard football, right? We're scanning schoolyard football. Yeah, and I was on the other team at the time, and I put him on his big butt though. I did, because I wasn't scared of nobody. And sometimes that's not wise. You should be scared of some people sometimes because some people are crazy. All right, but I'm gonna leave that alone. Okay, enough of my happenings of adolescence. Good morning to you. Hope this day finds you well. House Bill 41 would challenge a 17-year-old Supreme Court decision restricting the death penalty to cases involving murder or crimes against the state. I don't really know what I think about this right quick. We sure, to be a Christian nation, we sure like putting people to death, don't we? In this city, in this state, Republican-sponsored bill that will allow prosecutors to seek the death penalty for people convicted of certain child sex crimes passed its second hurdle in the Alabama Senate Judiciary Committee on yesterday. House Bill number 41. Now, I'm against this. I'm against this. Okay, there have been too many cases where somebody came along 20 years later or 15 years later and said, "Well, I lied. I lied." And we already got people that have been in jail for 20 and 30 years and come to find out, one day magically, the evidence came about to show that they did not do such a crime. And when it comes to domestic relationships, with fathers and mothers and husbands and wives and ex-husband wives, people during that time of their life, they will lie on you big time. They'll coach their kids, and that's probably on both sides. They will coach their kids to lie and all kinds of things. And so now you in jail for a bunch of hours. And right now we already got laws on the books now that if a fellow I know who's 42 years old right now and had a couple of minutes with a youngster at 15. Now he was only 17 at the time. And his whole life, almost his whole life, he's been on a sexual predator list because of what they did when they were 15 and 17 years old. Anybody in their right mind that thinks that is an appropriate punishment for two teenagers exploring the mystics of sexuality. Okay, I mean, and the mother and father are the ones who said, "Well, he raped my daughter." Yeah, well, I don't think he was raping her, but but whatever the case may be. So now the guy's 40 something years old. Now he's got a record for life for something he did at 17 years old. Okay, and they did at 17 years old. And Lord have mercy, don't be a black man back in them days. I mean, you lucky you didn't get hung up. You know. So I'm just saying. So we need to be careful about who we want to put to death. Okay, who we want to put to death and why we want to do it. Okay, and I'm with the law. Listen, unless you've taken somebody else's life, I don't see that. That we're in high school. His name was Nicky Ray, is what we call him. Ray Donaldson is his name, but we call him Nicky Ray. But anyway, so it seems to me that before we go passing out death penalty for things that may or may not have happened, we need to really, really, really think about that. Because once you get this thing, okay, yeah, he played for Georgia. That's right. My couple last years in high school was in Georgia. I lived in Rome. Went to high school. He went to East Rome also. Okay, and I'm just letting you know. But anyway, he made a lot more money than I did, though. So anyway, do we really want to start laying the death penalty on, especially when we can't even? Yeah. He's from Georgia. We went to high school together. Okay, I'm just saying we're about the same age. But anyway, you cannot give people their life back once it's gone. You can't even give them the freedom that you've taken from them for years. Okay, for years you can't give them that freedom back. Okay, and so we need to be careful about when they always put somebody to death. Okay, and somebody what was it? Who said it ain't no fun when the rabbit get the gun? Who said that anyway? Yeah, well, and again, we're not. Yeah, but I'm for cruel and unusual punishment. Well, it all depends on what's cruel and what's unusual. But I do think we need to slow our roll on giving everybody the death penalty, especially when there are human beings involved that lie about it. I mean, lately in the last couple of years, my Lord, people have been in prison for 37, 47 years, and now we find out they didn't do it. And I don't know why it takes so long. I don't know why it takes so long for people with DNA and with all these things out there. I don't know why it takes that long to figure out somebody did or didn't do something. Now, yesterday, of course, I'm walking outside, looking at the car, looking at it. Should I go get another one? And quickly my mind said no. Okay, so I'm looking at the sky and I'm looking at all these helicopters around in the hood over here. So I'm trying to figure out What's going on? And then I find out, of course, we got somebody else got shot yesterday in my neighborhood. Um, okay, not exactly my neighborhood, but in the neighboring direction over here at the liquor store. See, but one thing about it though, you ought to get extra pay for working at liquor stores and gas stations. I don't know why people think that it's easy to rob a liquor store and a gas station. I don't know why that is. I mean, go in and get you some gas. Get on out of there. Stop trying to rob people. Okay. And I don't really feel sorry for people who walk in and tell me, "Give me all your money," and you get all their bullets. And that doesn't bother me at all. Okay. They got they got a they got an old saying. If you want stupid consequences, do stupid things. And doing that is kind of stupid. So I'm not feeling bad for anybody who wants to steal people's money, and then because money is hard to come back. Yeah, yeah. Well, those must have been some different shots because over here it was around 4 or 4 o'clock, somewhere around that, over off Lower Tumpka Road. And if you see all them helicopters in the sky yesterday, that's what they were looking for. They were looking for the brothers. Okay, I'm just saying. Okay, so we got that. Okay, somebody around here. I don't know why. But somebody's always shooting somebody. Hey, good morning.
Good morning, Mayor.
How you doing, sir?
Doing just fine since I heard you on the line.
Outstanding, outstanding. Glad I make your day.
Did you find out anything? Were you able to do any homework on the municipal fee deal?
I haven't. I was told that I was absolutely correct as far as uh, having not to go through the local legislative body um, for the fee, but you have to go through it for a what's that other thing we call it? Um, uh, uh, uh,
A tax?
a tax, right? Right. So you couldn't do that with
Well, well, let me save you some homework. If you look up Alabama Code 11
mhm.
40-43A 74 11-43A 74 powers of municipality.
Right.
And it states the municipality shall have all powers granted to municipal corporations by the Constitution of the state of Alabama. So I guess we will see where this goes.
We will see if we really have people who want to make a difference. It's that give us the same Bravo Sierra that every election cycle that I have been here, it's giving us the same thing, and nothing really ever changes. Now we're gonna see who's got some big cojones right here and be willing to put their political career on the line to make a significant difference. Because so far, the only significant difference that I've seen since I've been here is the light bill going up exponentially. Okay.
Well, I just wanted to give you that. Shifting gears, do you know what evidence tag Q6 is attached to in the FBI evidence room in Washington, D.C.?
I cannot say that I do.
Q6 evidence tag is attached to the bullets that shot and killed Brian Terry, former U.S. Marine who was the Border Patrol agent who was murdered during Fast and Furious with
Mhm.
with a weapon that was sold to the Mexicans that killed him
By us.
by us. And why is this pertinent today? Because on August 24th of this past year, the Ninth Circuit, which is the most liberal court in the land out of San Francisco, overturned the murder conviction of one of the individuals that admitted his part in it. But they overturned it and said because he was not on U.S. soil or because he wasn't given his rights in the manner that he gets a new trial. He was a Mexican gang member and shot and killed a U.S. Border Patrol agent, not trying to stop a protest, but doing his job. And now they're going to overturn that. I wonder if there'll be any demonstrations about that, Mayor.
You know, what an astute observation. Because you're absolutely right. Because none of these protests have anything to do with right or wrong. Political correctness has reared its ugly head. And somebody asked the other day, why is it that there are only a couple places in America where idiots act like this? Because their leadership acts like this.
Well, it's like Dr. Duke yesterday was saying about, we're hypocrites and everything. The folks standing up there, and one of the guys at the Grammys, Mayor, he said, I want to thank God, but before I thank God, I want to say something about ICE. So he puts ICE above God.
Right. Yeah.
And the thing that's so hypocritical about it, to get into that affair, you had to have two things. You had to have an ID and you had to have credentials.
Mm.
You couldn't get in there without them. But you can come into the country illegally, and they're standing up there with their security, with their tight security, not letting the average Joe just walk in there. You got to have credentials and an ID. And what a bunch of hypocrites standing up there.
Absolutely.
Bad mouthing ICE.
Mm.
But you know what, Mayor, I just don't understand what Ford, General Motors, Honeywell, hundreds of American businesses have gone to Mexico, and recently 500 new suppliers have moved to Mexico. So why can't they find a job down there if we've moved all these businesses down there? I'm all for somebody finding a better way of life.
Yeah. Me too.
But we missed the big picture. Like with Brian, why was ICE created? You know why it was created?
Well, I'm going to assume to protect our borders.
Well, back in the day, they had customs and they had immigration.
Right.
And
right.
Customs, you had a Mobile office here in the state of Alabama, and if you had some trouble with illegal immigrants, whatever, you had to wait for somebody to come from Mobile to Montgomery. Well, after 9/11, they said, we need to find out who's in our country. So they created ICE. That's where ICE came from. It came out of thousands of Americans being killed in 9/11. Worst thing since Pearl Harbor.
Right.
That's where ICE came from.
Yeah. Well.
And Mayor, I heard Duke yesterday, and I heard other people talking about that. These people from Mexico, because of the color of their skin, they're being treated unfairly. But if you go back down through history, when the Italians came over through Ellis Island, they were called Dagos. They were called WAPs, and WAP stands for without papers. They were called greasers. They were called black hands. Those were in the mafia. And in 1891 in New Orleans, they lynched a bunch of them because they said they were bringing the city down and stealing and pilfering. And then the Irish, look what they call the Irish patties. That's where the word paddy wagon came from.
Right. And they should not apply. That's
and they called them bog trotters because they were the Ireland marshland, and they called them shanties. And listen at this. They even called them white Negroes without papers.
Yeah. And I appreciate using the sensitive word Negroes.
Yes, sir. So all down through history is not just the Mexicans. Other people that came to this country have been treated badly. And I just don't understand. At what point did we say this group of people, the Mexicans, were entitled to come here without credentials, without papers, and establish squatters' rights.
Well, I'll tell you something. Talking about squatters' rights, I'm doing a story yesterday. How in this country can somebody move into your house and you can't put them out? If you went on vacation and somebody moved into your house, how in the world is that possible?
Well, because of like the Ninth Circuit in San Francisco and California, it's one of the worst places, and a lot of these rulings that come out of the Ninth Circuit move to the east, come towards, and eventually head our way. But California is one of the worst places that if you get somebody into a residence and once they establish it, then you've got to go through 19 hurdles, even though they're not paying.
Right.
You can't move them out.
So
I mean,
who came up with such a dumb rule? I mean, this one lady spent all her life getting a house. She went on vacation. She came back, and somebody moved into her house, and they couldn't put them out. I mean, does that make any sense to anybody?
No. What was the old saying? If you can't pay, you can't stay.
Yeah, I mean, when I came,
I mean that's
yeah. Well, when I came back that night, they'd had a burned up house. I'd have burnt that mother to the ground. You're not going to let me build my own house, and then you get to move in my house. And I mean, what kind of law would allow that goes against everything, our Constitution, our Bill of Rights? How in the hell can you move in my house? What country is this?
Well, we have decided to do away with common sense, and it's just like when you don't enforce things, it's just like shoplifting, Mayor. You go to stores now, and they got everything locked up. When you came to Montgomery, was it like that?
Not when I first got here. I got here in '91.
No,
it was a pleasant.
No, and it's progressively gotten to where now, because these stores don't they don't enforce shoplifting because they're scared about getting into a lawsuit with some person that doesn't have the right to steal, but they'll get some attorney to represent them in court, and they're scared of the bad publicity, so they have to lock everything up for the good people.
Yeah, that's true too. I don't know.
So I mean, see, this is what's we have lost our. We're so worried about this person, crook, criminal, thief, whatever you want to call them's rights, and just like this guy that killed Brian Terry. Here's a man that fought for his country, was a former U.S. Marine, took a job to protect our borders, and they murdered him with a weapon that the United States government gave them. Yeah. What kind of country are we in?
I know. And wasn't that the Fast and Furious thing? Is that
Fast and Furious under President Obama, yeah. And that's where he let Eric Holder slip out the back door because they wanted the papers. They wanted to find out who approved the mission, and they were so scared it was going to get all the way to the top. So they never did produce the weapons. Congress wanted the paper trail. And they let Eric Holder slip out the back door.
Yeah. Wow. Interesting.
But anyway, there were no protests for Brian Terry.
No.
None. Have a good day.
All right. Appreciate it. You know, there is a personality change in this country. Like this, right? I mean, like this. Like Negroes calling such other the N-word. Yeah, come on, bro. But anyway, I'm still trying to figure out how people can move in your house. How a person can move in your house and they start getting mail there because you're trying to do a brother a solid. And then all of a sudden now, you've been on vacation. you've been gone for 90 days or so, and you come home, and all of a sudden now there's somebody living in your house, and the law says you can't put them out. Now, I, I'm a man of reason, logic, and common sense. But that, and I'll get to that story sometime this morning, but that has got to be the most asinine thing I've heard. And it's been many cases like this in America. So, and I'm just trying to figure, how is that possible that a person can take control of your house and the police will not move them out? So I suggest you, hey, listen, when you set it afire that night, he'll move out. Yeah, yeah, yeah. When you set your own house afire, that son of a gun in there will be moving. Okay. Got to get more to that story. Yeah, I got story. I got the story here. But what more could it be, Willie? It's your house. Seriously, it's your house. And just because I let you stay here for a few days trying to help you out, all of a sudden now I can't put you out. So wh- what part of logic and reason that? But I'll get the story for you in a little bit because it just doesn't make any difference to me. It just doesn't. I don't get it. But if I came back home, they was in my house. Yeah, they be moving that night. Yeah, they either be moving or they be pork chops. Okay, because I'll be doggone if I'm gonna let you sit in my house that I didn't paid my whole life for, and because of some municipal misaligned law or ordinance, and now you get to stay in it without paying me anything? No, I'm sorry. But I'll find the story later on and let you know what it's all about. Okay, anyway, we started this by saying, should people be given the death penalty if they are involved with some sort of child act that's inappropriate? I don't think we should do that. People lie often. People lie often, and you don't know who's lying sometimes. And then you go like what they did with Bill Cosby. Listen, 30-year lie, and then all of a sudden, and I don't know if he did it or not. 30-year lie, uh there's no proof, like the whole thing with Trump. Oh, you're gonna come back 40 years later. Well, I was in the dressing room and he came in here and said this and said, oh, well, show me the video. Give me the audio. Let me hear it. Let me see what the man said. Okay. So our country, the personality of America has changed to the point where we're almost becoming indistinguishable from third world countries sometimes with the laws we pass. And there's nothing, I mean, there doesn't seem to be any, no wonder everybody didn't like Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk used some of the most inspirational common sense of any public official I've ever seen. I'd have voted for him for president. Absolutely. You know he's young. I should have voted for him for president because we don't use common sense anymore. Not in this country. I mean, it used to be part of it used to be part of the lexicon, common sense, but it seemed to have left us for a long time now. Okay, we don't use it. Okay, now I don't know who this person is, but evidently she was a significant member of our community. Anybody heard of Jewel Pitts? She I think she was involved with the what's that new game the old folks play now? Um, um, oh, what is that game they play? Um, I personally don't want to play it, but it seems to it seems to have caught on, and I think she was probably one of the people who made it fashionable. What is the name of that? Anyway, it's a game that they play, and I think the county put some money into these things out there somewhere in East Montgomery, and I forgot exactly what the game is played, but evidently has um, she has passed. Jewel Pitts. I didn't know her, But hey, listen, if you get more than 30 seconds worth of mention any place around here, you did something significant. Because the only time you get that much news is it's when you can play basketball or football or something like that. Other than that, though, they don't really acknowledge your contribution to society unless you can carry a ball or shoot one. So I'm going to give her some props here. I didn't know her, but Jewel Pitts, she's passed on, and evidently what is the name of that game? Anyway, I can't think of the name of it. It's one I've never been really interested in. What is it called? It's called the Pickle something. Anyway, it's Pickle something. I don't pickleball. I think that's what it is. And I think she was one of the leading advocates for it. And it's a game for old people, so you don't feel like you're useless. Okay, so you can get out there and play a little pickleball. Okay, okay then. So much for that. But anyway, thank you to her family and friends. We wish them well, and our condolences go out to her. Never had an opportunity to meet her, at least not that I know of. Anyway, I met a lot of people in my time in this city, but I'm so easily forgettable till they forget about me. So I'm good. Anyway, uh, uh, so you think House Bill 72 is going to be a good law? No, no, no. Again, we want to use the death penalty for almost everything. Then we find out later on, ooh, he didn't do it. And now, how are we going to get him back? How are we going to now there's another thing going on in our prisons right now that kind of I tell you another law that I don't cotton to very easily. There's a young man. Well, he's not so young. He's 75 years old now. Um, a man who faces execution despite not pulling the trigger in an auto store customer's death. And he is I understand the theory behind it, but the practical application to it, and there's a young man somewhere in Millbrook years ago was sleeping in the back seat of a car, and young folks who were driving the car decided to go to somebody's house and rob them, and I think somebody got killed, and he was put on trial with them. And kids will be kids, and kids will do stupid things. Hop in the car, especially if you're walking, and somebody say, "You want to ride?" Yeah, 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 yeah. And you don't have any idea of what they're planning on. Okay, and so I got a problem with us wanting to hold people who did not pull a trigger 100% accountable with the people who did. I think and it sounds good. It sounds good. We are going to be tough on crime. So if you happen to be in the area, then you have to be in the area, then you're going to get charged too. I just think kids, when we were, me personally, I walked so much when I was little. If somebody came by with a 10-speed bike, I'd have got on the back of that seat and rode. So I don't know if that's such a good piece of law, but there is. Charles Sonny Burton didn't kill anyone. The state of Alabama could execute him anyway. Burton, who's 75 years old, and personally, I think once you hit 75 years old, what's the purpose of killing somebody at 75 years old? Okay. He's facing execution for his role as an accomplice in 1991 robbery at an auto parts store where customer Doug Battle was killed. And of course, our prayers go out to his family. Our condolences go out to his family. No one disputes that another man, a guy named Derek DeBruce, shot and killed Battle. Burton was one of 6 men involved in the robbery. And he was outside the store at the time of the shooting. DeBruce and Burton were both sentenced to death, but DeBruce was later resentenced to life imprisonment. So the guy who actually did the shooting, according to this article, has been resentenced to life in prison. But because of the technical specificities of this case, Mr. Burton could still be put to death. Now, he didn't do it. Okay, he didn't do it. He was outside doing, according to the newspapers. He was outside when this occurred. Okay, so we want to kill people. I mean, the guy is 75 years old in prison. You know, I think if you're not actively engaged, you may be actively engaged in a robbery, and I understand there needs to be some consequence. But I don't know if you just happen to be hanging around and you didn't know what the brother was going to do when he went to the gas station. He just went in there and he said, "Hey man, let's go get a beer." You get in there and the guy pulls out a gun, not only takes the beer, take the beer money too. And now they're going to blame both of y'all. And what are you going to do? You're going to run. You're a kid. You're going to run. You didn't know the guy had intentions on robbing the place. Okay. But you're going to run. So now, because you ran, because you're a scared little kid, then now you're gonna be and you shot the guy, and now you're gonna be judged the same way that person is. I don't know. Again, we want to put we want to put people to death in a great Christian nation, in this great Christian state of Alabama, where there's a church on every corner. We want to do that, whether you did it or not. And I just got a problem with that because you cannot give people their life back. You can't give them their freedom back either, but at least you can pay them for it. Okay. Anyway, now and again, people say, "Well, what about the victim?" Yeah, I'm with you on that one. DeBruce, um, um, uh, the shooting occurred August 16th, 1991. I had been here for a couple of months doing a robbery at AutoZone in Talladega. Before they went inside, Burton, who at that particular time was 40, said if another caused trouble in the store, he could take care of it. DeBruce yelled to everyone to get down. Burton, also armed with a gun, that didn't help his case at all, forced the manager to the back of the store and the safe. And I don't. I mean, 40 wasn't exactly a kid, but it I don't know. The other guy who actually did the shooting now gets life in prison. Okay, and the victim's daughter is among those urging the governor to grant clemency to Mr. Burton. And since he didn't do any shooting, I don't see any problem with that. But you got to be careful about you have to be careful about the people you hang around in life. You do, because some of that stench will rub off on you. And so I just pick yourself some better friends. You know, and maybe you didn't know the guy was going to go in there and rob the store, but I got a feeling you know who your people, you know who your friends are. Okay, okay. So back then, you are just as reasonable for a murder if you look out for the. Well, again, what if you don't know that the guy is going in there with a gun? I mean, what if you don't know that your buddy, your friend, your pal is packing, and you don't know that? I mean, you're a kid. You. The guy said, "Let's go for a ride." Hey, let's go for a ride. Tired of walking anyway. So I just I don't know. I don't, to hold them to the same strict standards as you hold the guy who actually did the shooting, I think is somewhat morally wrong. Um, I mean, we're not God. We don't know what was in his mind, what was in his head, or anything like that. We don't know. But we sure like putting the gas on people around this state to be a Christian state and talk about the Bible all the time. We sure like putting the heat to people, don't we? I don't know. I don't know. Then you should go immediately go to the police. And again, I don't have a problem with that either. Hey, listen, if you didn't do it, then why didn't you go to police? But again, it's an amazing thing as we get older how our intelligence gets better. It gets better. It's called life experiences. When you're 16 years old, 17 years old, 15 years old, you don't think the way you do at 40. Okay, you just don't. You don't think that way. You know. So I don't know. It's I don't want to. I don't want to start killing everybody for making stupid mistakes that kids make, and they do make the mistake. Okay, I'm just thinking. You know, so you might want to St. Louis. Montgomery is going to reopen a lawsuit against Woodley Terrace Apartments over safety violations and discover. One of the things I believe they should do, back here right during Christmas, we had a fire at Woodley Terrace, which is off Woodley Road over there, and a lot of people lost their home and their possessions and things of that nature. And a couple days before Christmas, and of course, we found out that the people who run those apartments, and I'm going to give Mr. Arande Mitchell some props here. He has been trying to hold those people accountable who rent these apartments. I'm told, but what can he possibly do if the landlord? I think if you don't have somebody locally in charge of these apartment complexes, then you can't own it in the city of Montgomery. Okay, if there's no local representation and you live in Bangladesh, wherever hell else you live, uh, uh, getting that money first every month, which I ain't mad at you. That's a good old American way. But if you have nobody here to look out after the people who live in these apartments, then you ought not be able to get a license to rent them. There's got to be a local representative here, and I mean you stay in apartment number one while everybody else is staying in the other one. But I think I think that's something that they need to look out after too on the city council. Stop telling us that the person doesn't live here. Then if he doesn't live here, he had no local representation here. Then he don't need to own anything. There must be somebody to be held accountable for the living conditions under some of these apartments in the city of Montgomery. There must be somebody. That's probably why I'm going to run for the city council. There's two things that when I run for the city council next year, there's two things that we're going to get straight. First of all, dogs, people who walk their ugly dogs and poop on your sidewalk are pooping your grass. Okay. My number one issue right there. That's right. People who walk their ugly dogs, let their dog hump their leg, put it on your grass or your leaves, and when you go out there to pick up the leaves or cut the grass, you're getting this nice soft feeling underneath your shoe because somebody's ugly dog. Now, year before last, I came up with I bought a taser, and a lady come across, one to walk her ugly dog, and I told her either he getting sued, he getting tased, or you. Which one of you guys want to get tased? Get your ugly dog out of my yard. Okay. So, pooper scooper ordinance. They got it in Texas. Pooper scooper ordinance in Texas. Okay. That's my platform is that right there. Okay. You don't get to ride, you don't get to walk around without carrying some apparatus to pick up your dog's crap. Okay, don't get it. Put it in. I don't care who. You can put it in any garbage can that's sitting on the street because you know what? That's what the garbage can's there for. The garbage cans actually belong to the city. So pooper scooper is going to be my main thing. A man ought to be able to walk out of his house and not see somebody else's dog with their legs humped up or bent over, dropping their load in your grass. Okay, you shouldn't do that. That ought to be the first time $100 fine. And if you walking down the street with your dog and you don't have the necessary equipment to pull your dog's crap up, then we're gonna find you. Okay, I don't hear your excuses. If you're walking that ugly dog, you knew you was gonna walk the dog, and you don't carry the necessary apparatus to pick up your dog's poop, then we're gonna find you. Okay. So if y'all want that, vote for me. Vote for Elk Dog because Elk Dog, you get an Elk Dog. Okay, don't worry about it. Anyway, so that's one of the things right there. That's one of the things right there. And a written criteria for getting a liquor license. Because I'm tired of some people getting it and some don't. And another thing, forget this thing where we think we got enough liquor store. Well, so what? The state of Alabama throw a liquor store anywhere in the city of Montgomery they want to. And there's nothing you can do about it. But the people who live here and pay the taxes, get hit by the drunk drivers, they don't want us to have another liquor store, but the state can. Okay? We better start fighting the state of Alabama. Okay? Stop letting them run out roughshod over the city of Montgomery. Every time they want to put a regular liquor store in our communities, they get to do it. But I don't get to put up a liquor store because you say we got too many. Well, tell that to the governor's office downtown or the state of Alabama about all the junk they put in the city of Montgomery. I'm just saying. So that's my platform. Liquor stores, I don't care how many people get drunk, okay? But if you do get drunk, you're gonna have a hell of a price to pay, okay, for drinking and driving, okay. And here's another thing too. Here's what I don't quite get. You go to a football game, you go to a baseball game, they're selling alcohol. We sell alcohol at these games, so why do we sell alcohol at games? That people are drinking alcohol when they leave the baseball stadium or the football game thing because you done sold them a beer. Now, somebody gets out on that road, hurt somebody, then I think the state should be liable. Okay, sell them a Coca-Cola, sell them, some of that probiotic water, which is actually really good to tell you the truth. Help my situation out. A couple weeks ago, I said, "Wow, I didn't know anything about electrolytics or whatever that stuff you're supposed to put in your blood, electromagnesium, whatever it is. It's electro something. That stuff actually works." Okay. Yeah, and I'm with you. They shouldn't have closed it. But so we got so so here's my platform. You cannot rent an apartment complex in this city unless you have local representation that lives on site in that apartment complex. That's right. Or in the immediate area. I'll be nice to them. 2, you can't walk your ugly looking dog around city of Montgomery, let them drop their load in everybody's yard. If you want to see crap in your yard, let your dog walk around your. And I really can't understand. I mean, think about this for a second. You get to walk your dog around town so they can crap in your yard. I mean, just think about that for a second. That's crazy. I mean, would you like me to come over and open the door to your house and go in your bathroom and take a crap? No, you wouldn't. Because you don't even like doing your own crapping. So why in the world should you have to deal with my crap when you don't like crapping in there? Okay, that's what this whole dog thing is about. Okay? I mean, just think about how disrespectful that is. Well, it's kind of like this. You knock on the door of your neighbor. As soon as he opens up the door, you give him the finger. Okay? That's what it's like. Would you like that? If your neighbor knocked on your door, okay, and they came to you and you went like this. Now, would that in any way make you happy? Of course not. He's telling you to go get screwed. Well, I mean, nobody likes that. So why do we think that I want to look out the door, see you with your ugly dog hiking your leg up? Now, I don't mind if you got to relieve yourself. Okay, if you got to relieve yourself, take a pee. Okay, yeah, that's okay. Water came from water. It's all going back to the same water anyway. Okay, but to drop the bomb in your yard, okay, that's terrible. To drop the bomb in your yard is terrible. So I'm just telling you, you might want to think about, not doing that. Okay. Okay. So Spartacus let the apartment owners pay him for 4 years, resulting in tragedy. Close the lawsuit. Yeah, I don't know why they closed the lawsuit. But anyway, so much for that. Okay, now, so if you are tired of seeing people come in your neighborhood with their ugly little dog and drop their load in your yard, vote for me. Okay, vote for me. As a matter of fact, I'm going to be living in district number 3. Okay, so I'm probably going to run against Marche. Okay. Of course, I don't want people throwing junk out their windows for a car. And I personally, when I was on Clean City Commission, I came up with a thing that nobody was paying attention to. Listen, everybody's got a cell phone. If you see somebody drawing paper out about their window and throwing it on track, take a picture of the car and the driver license if you can get it, and send it downtown. Okay, you got the picture of them doing it. Send it downtown, and let's go find them. Okay, let's find them and then find them. You get the little play on words there. Let's find them and then find them. Okay, that's what these. That's one thing. These cell phones could go a long way in making us have a cleaner Montgomery, because you don't know who's got a cell phone behind you, on the side of you, on the other side of you. Okay, so you don't know. So I'm just saying, let's pay people for using their cell phone to help keep the city clean. Okay, clean city commission. You can have that idea. I give it to you. Okay, that's right. And now you'll think twice about throwing your ugly paper on the ground. Okay, I'm just saying. I got it all set. Listen, I know what it is. I know it's dog crap. I know it is. But see, you people who live out there in the pristine areas of town, I feel you. I wish I could do that, but well, actually, I could do it actually, but I want to do more than just pay the rent or pay the mortgage. I like to be able to buy groceries too. So anyway, but I feel you. I feel you on that. Okay, I know it's dog crap. I know it is. But it's an important thing. I've been complaining about it for 30 years, and we still let people do it. All right, I'm just saying, you still let people do it. People shouldn't have the unmitigated gall to let their dogs drop their stuff in your yard, okay, without being a fine for it, okay. I mean, I don't mind if the dog drops it. When you got to go, you got to go. But your job is to pick it up and take it with you, okay. Pick it up. So if you're walking downtown with your dog and you don't have a what do you call those things? You don't have a pooper scooper, then you need to get a fine. Okay, you need to be fined. Okay, now I'm done with that subject right now. About dog poop, then people throwing their garbage out. Who wants people? Seriously, who wants people to throw stuff out of their car? But with a cell phone, and if you see it, you take a picture of it or the picture of the car, and then you send it to the police department. Okay, and let somebody see the evidence. Okay, and I'm not saying the police need to, at that time, turn around and uh, 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 do the trash haul thing, whatever. But at least you will have a record of people who've done this, and then when you stop them for other things, it's kind of like this whole thing with the with immigration. I'm not for running around people who look like they may be immigrants. No, if you do something and we find out that you are here illegally, then let's deal with that then. But to purposely go around looking for people who you think are here illegal, I'm not for that at all. Not even a little bit. That's not what America. That's not what the American dream is all about. I realize you're supposed to come here all a certain kind of way. Well, if we all did things the way we're supposed to do it, half of us have a hell of a lot more money in the bank than we do. Okay, so I ain't always did everything the way I'm supposed to do it. Either. But anyway, all right, I'm moving on. I'm moving on, Greg. I'm moving on. Just that's going to be my platform. Okay, liquor and dog poop. Okay, that's going to be my platform when I run for city council. Okay, that's what I'm going to do. Liquor stores. Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. We don't have too many of them. We need as many as we can put on the street. Okay, many as we can put on the street. That's what we need because people like liquor. Do you guys remember during COVID? Do you know the only stores that were left open by the governor's decree? You know what stores were left open? Oh yeah, yeah, liquor stores, state liquor stores are left open. Now they're closing up. They're closing up local restaurants, but yeah, but they let the liquor stores stay open. Okay, right on. I'm just thinking. And what happened? What happened in the SIAC? Morehouse College was playing Tuskegee, and I don't understand. Now the mayor's going to have to answer this one for me. So we gonna put handcuffs on the coach at the Tuskegee coach after a basketball game? Somebody need to tell me about that one. I mean, I understand it. Okay, what does the Bible say about the death penalty? I think now I'm not a I'm not a scholar, but I believe to my recollection, it is up to the state to carry out the death sentence if to bear the sword, if that in fact is if that in fact is what what the state law is. Okay. Okay. So I'm not really sure what I don't know if the Bible deals with the death penalty. I know when one of Jesus' followers wanted to cut somebody's head off or something like that, they told him not to do that. Okay. Yeah. And my the Greg, I totally agree with you on this. I totally agree with you on this. One of the problems we have with immigration today is that people don't want to assimilate. They want to come in and change us who we are as a nation. Okay. And I just, this whole Muslim thing in New York and Minnesota and in Ann Arbor, Michigan, where we play the little five morning thing where you get out and you call the prayers, which is good. I mean, if you want to do that, that's fine. But I don't think you should do that with the resources of city government. Okay, because that is certainly a religious thing, and although the Bible does not say anything about separation of church and state, it does give the impression that it is not the government's job to determine what you worship or who you worship or what you don't worship. It is not there. It's not the government's job to do that, and that's I think that's as far as we ought to go. Um, as far as where I ought to go with that. Now if you want to, if you want to ring it from your house, that's cool. You want to have a meeting, a prayer meeting at your house, and you ring the bell 5 times a day. I think that's good, unless your neighbors get tired of hearing it, and then that's a whole different thing. But that's between you and your neighbors. So I don't think any government official using government resources should tell you when you need to come to pray. Okay, that's not the government's job. That's a job between me and the good Lord and not you. So I don't want you to be reminding me 5 times a day that I need to come pray. Because if I haven't figured that out by now, I'm in trouble anyway. Okay. All right. I'm just saying, that's just me. Exodus 21:20. Right, but Exodus was the Old Testament. We're not under the Old Testament anymore. Matter of fact, I got Tony coming next week, as a matter of fact. But I don't think, what does the Bible say about oh, let me see. Let me ask my friend here. Hey Siri, what does the Bible say about the death penalty? Siri's looking this up.
The Bible contains passages that both support and caution against the death penalty.
Against it.
In the Old Testament, laws like Genesis chapter 9, verse 6 and Exodus chapter 21, verse 12 support capital punishment for serious crimes such as murder. However, the New Testament emphasizes mercy, forgiveness, and leaving judgment to God, as seen in John chapter 8, verse 7, with Jesus saying,
Yes.
"Let the one who is without sin
cast the first stone."
Many Christians interpret these teachings differently, leading to varied views on the death penalty. That was from ChatGPT.
Okay, appreciate
Check
that.
Important info for mistakes.
I appreciate that. Okay, I knew I was somewhere in the right on that one, because we have a tendency as good old Americans to go back to the Old Testament when it's appropriate for us to make our point, realizing that we are under a new covenant in the New Testament, and a lot of those things are not appropriate anymore. But that's just me. So I'm not I'm not a death penalty guy. Now I will admit to you, I'm not even gonna be a lie. You hurt my kids, and your ass is grass. I mean, if any way I can cut you down, you will be gone. I'm with you. Now, it is not biblical. It is not the right thing to do, but there's only very few things that I will hurt you over, and those two boys are one of them. So, it's not right. So just don't hurt my boys, and guess what? You don't have to worry about me. I'm good. All right. So other than that, though, I don't believe in the death penalty, because we all have done something that, if we thought about it for a couple of minutes there, somebody could probably, make a case against us. So anyway, so that's what the Bible says about death penalty, Gary. So it is not. It's just not something we use in the new covenant. It's just not. Forgiveness. They wanted to stone the lady at the well. They wanted to stone her. What did they do? They said, "Let him without sin cast the first stone." So, okay. So I don't. I mean, I think the government, however, has the. I think somewhere in the Bible, the government has a right to use the sword. Okay. Old white people built the greatest country in history, the one everyone wants to break into. Now there's something to that, but now let's not give that strictly to the old white people. I'm just saying that they use a lot of old black people to do it. I'm just saying let's not give them all the credit. Okay. Let me see now. What else? Okay, so we got that going on. Okay. Oh, yeah. Now, all of you whiners yesterday we're talking about Tuberville. It seems that they have decided, the Alabama GOP has decided to dismiss the residency challenge for Tuberville. They say common sense has prevailed. Alabama GOP committee unanimously rejects made-up residency hope ballot challenge against Tuberville in a bid for governor. Okay. The Alabama Republican Party, or otherwise known as ALGOP, steering committee on Sunday unanimously voted another holding a formal hearing in U.S. Senator Tommy Tuberville residency in the gubernatorial bid. In a letter to the Alabama GOP steering committee, exclusively viewed on 1819 News, Tuberville's team provided documentation proving that the former Auburn football coach received an Alabama driver's license registered to vote in the state of Alabama March in 2019, and has only voted in the state since then. Okay, then. The letter asserts that evidence alone should put to bed any questions about his residency. Okay, you see, I knew that Tuberville, now y'all can say what you want to say about Tuberville, but Tuberville's not a dumbass. Okay? Okay, he ain't a dumbass. You're not going to spend all that money and not be able to run. I mean, seriously? No. He's this was good. So I'm good with this, okay? So who else is running? Now, listen, if Jamel Brown can run for governor, then anybody can run for governor. Which listen, he's got a right to run too, though. Don't get me wrong. He's got a right to run too, right? He does. Just like Tuberville does or anybody else does. But I'm still trying to figure out why in the world did we let why in the world did we let why in the world they letting Jamel Brown run on the Democratic ticket? I mean, the Democratic ticket is sort of kind of strange anyway. Okay, so I'm just saying, But anyway, so much for that. All right, then. The Old Testament is not disallowed, but we're not under the Old Testament, the covenant of the Old Testament anymore. I mean, it is what it is. Okay? It is what it is. Now, let's get back to the nitty gritty, why nothing really changes when it comes to voting in the state of Alabama or any other state, as it were, when it comes to local representation. Let us see where the problem lies. Does anybody out there have any idea why nothing significantly changes no matter who gets in office? I'll wait for you. I mean, I'll wait. I'll wait right here. Yeah. Okay. So again, does anybody know why nothing significantly happens differently? No matter who gets in office. I've been voting since 1992. First time I ever voted was 1992. and I was the presidency of Ross Perot. I was different even then. Yeah, I voted for Ross because I wanted to hear something different than I've already heard. Now, I didn't vote any time while I was in the Army. I didn't care nothing about no politics. All I done wanted to make sure that I was on time for duty and didn't go to jail for doing something stupid, and that I picked up my check in it every month without feeling guilty. Okay, so up until '92, when I got here, yeah, I had never voted. So, but I've been voting steady since '92. But I haven't seen any significant changes culturally, except to the negative, that has gone on since I've been here. So, does anybody have an idea why there has been no significant, okay, and why it is that most of our politicians, a lot of black ones, are rich now? They weren't rich when they got there, but they're rich now. And we can talk to what's her name? Who's the District 7 Congresswoman? She got all kinds of money now. Matter of fact, her wealth is going up 67%. Now you make $174,000 on a congresswoman or congressperson salary. So how are you worth millions now? Well, we know how it happens. Okay, we know how it happens, and everybody's thing is going up except ours. Okay, now our dollar is getting less and less and less valuable, but our representatives' dollars are becoming more and more and more. So does anybody know why nothing ever changes? Okay, because I want to make sure. Okay, hey, you do have a point there, my friend. But we've got, because we're some of the dumbest voters in the history of the vote. Okay, we're some of the dumbest voters in the history of the vote. Okay, we really are, and that's all over America. That's just not in Montgomery. That's all over America. We vote for people because of personality or the lack thereof. We don't really vote for people because they know anything any more than we know. Let me give you some statistical data here. Okay, give you some statistical data here that you may want to take in consideration, and you may want to ask these questions the next time you go to a town hall meeting. I want you to ask a couple of these good questions right here. The Alabama House of Representatives consists of 105 members. Okay, each member represents about 0.95 percentage of the approximately 40,000 people in the district. Okay, now these people get a 4-year term. Okay, 105 people, 105 representatives, along with 35 senators in the state Senate, make up the Alabama legislature. Okay, as of late 2023, there were 33 black lawmakers serving in the 140 seats, okay, which is about 23.57% of the Alabama legislature. These legislators, with one exception, are all members of the Democratic Party. That total includes members of the state Senate and the House of Representatives. So, total seats 140, total black legislators 33. Do you see where I'm going? Okay, you see where I'm going here. Anybody know? And as we go through this, then you're going to find out where nothing ever changes. All we do every 4 years is give somebody a job for 60 something. Was it 70? Let me see what. Hey Siri, what is the salary of Alabama legislators?
The average salary for legislators in Alabama is around $17,840 per year. Salaries typically start from $16,930 and go up to $56,420. This is from CareerExplorer.com.
Yeah, that's wrong, ladies and gentlemen. That's wrong. See, that's why you cannot. Okay. Oh, the mayor? I didn't know the mayor was supposed to even call in. Nah, well, I got some questions to ask him too. So y'all got to let me know what day y'all going to do this on, guys. But if the mayor does call in, we'll let him call in. But I don't know exactly. Okay, y'all got to call it, brother, man. I can't keep up with y'all. Y'all sitting out there. Okay. I'm going to take a couple minutes with him. Maybe we can do this tomorrow. Yeah, we can't do it today. How about Thursday? Or next week. See, you gotta call it, brother. I'm a famous guy around town, so I don't. But if he does call, that's fine. I don't have a problem. The mayor can interrupt my show anytime he wants to. Okay. They like you. They like you think math is no, don't. Black folks have put themselves in an enviable position and at a grave disadvantage. A grave disadvantage. Everybody knows what black folks are going to vote. Everybody. You can go out in the street right now, stand downtown, and see 100 black folks come by, and I'm telling you, 99.9% of them say I'm going to vote Democrat. And then you wonder why you can't get anything done. Well, that's why. Because you everybody knows, if you're going to fight an enemy, if you're going to fight a battle, but you already tell the enemy where you're going to set up your ambush, all they got to do is go in a different direction. We're the only group of people in the United States of America that vote that way. We're the only group. Even homosexual people vote conservative. Okay? Hispanic friends of mine vote Republican. But black folks, 99% of all the people who actually vote Democrat. They just vote. It is what it is. And you can sit there and tell me, well, this is why. Well, that's a bunch of bull crap. First of all, the Democrats don't have to work for you at all. All they got to say is, I am a Democrat. And boy, black folks will beat feet to the store buying buckets of chicken and all kinds of things and run into the poll and vote for you. Okay? White people don't do that. Now, white people and black folks be lying. White people don't vote 99% Republican. They just don't. It's about a 50-50 proposition, as a matter of fact. Okay? Because, first of all, there are about 40 million black folks in America, about 287 million whites. So by the sheer number alone, you cannot. All we do as black folks is guarantee the Democratic Party so many votes, and they never have to tell you anything different. And Lord have mercy, if they find themselves in a position where they can't get anything done, the first thing they're going to bring up? Here's the first thing they're going to bring. Hatcher, where you at? Tashina, where you at? Because you all use the same excuse all the time. Well, it's more them than it is us. Okay. All right. Okay. So let me just make sure I get this straight. The combined intelligence of all the black folks downtown in the House of Representatives, all those 33, the combined intelligence of 33 legislators cannot convince one or two guys on the other aisle that their cause is just, that they need to do the right thing. Okay, they combine education and intelligence of 33 black legislators can't convince two or three people on the other side that their cause is just, if it is just. So that's what you're telling. Like downtown, like downtown, 4 to 5. Well, we always it's not 4 against 5. It's 5 against 1, or 4 against 1. The combined intelligence of a lot of our people on our city council happen to be black. If we didn't have the race card to throw out every once in a while, hell, we wouldn't even miss them. Okay, we wouldn't even miss them. At least Alvin Holmes raised hell down there. So nobody forgot about Alvin, because Alvin said often, sometimes it ain't what you get done. Sometimes it's what you stop from being done. And we sat there on the air one day. I said, now that makes sense to me. See, because I'm a logical guy. That makes sense. So I may not be able to get my bill passed, but I'm certainly not going to let yours pass. And then that is where we come into agreement and compromise. Okay? But you are there to change people's minds. You are there to change people's minds. You are. Yes, you are. Then why are you there? If you can't change anybody's perspective on the social construct of the situation that we find ourselves in as a culture, then why are you there? I mean, seriously, why are you there? Because the only time I ever hear from you when you lose, which is often. So are you telling me that the combined intelligence of 33 black politicians can't convince 2 or 3 white guys to look at our position here? Is it reasonable? Is it rational? Is it common sense? Are you we can't even on the city council, we got 5 to 4, which means those 4 people ought to be able to convince one of the guys on the other side, hey, because we're all one city, that maybe we should do something a little different. We can't do that unless you're telling me that all 5 white guys on the other side are so determined, so secure in their intellectual debauchery until they don't care about the consequences of not supporting the other side periodically. Okay, so that's why we can't win anything. Good morning.
You got so bored, and Camilla ain't even writing any kind of notes over there.
Well, this ain't about
you
boring.
Lose her, huh?
This is about the truth.
Yeah, the truth. Hey, what about your fees? I want to hear more about your fees.
Well, I'm not an expert.
How are you going to enact your fees?
Well, how do we act any ordinance?
I asked you a question. How are you going to enact it? Don't ask me a question.
Right, but that's not my job to worry about that. That's their job.
Well, if you're going to come up with a stupid idea, you ought to have a stupid way of completing it.
Well, we do have all kind of fees.
And did you learn about federal highways and who?
Yeah, I was right and you were wrong.
No, you're wrong.
No, you're wrong.
It's like a neighborhood where a guy comes in to build a neighborhood. He puts in the roads and everything, and once it's complete, he turns it over to the city. The state has the responsibility and ownership for the federal highway to come through it.
That's
the federal government turns it over to them.
That they provide money.
They
are still national highways.
It belongs to the state once they're complete.
Well, I had a person call me yesterday.
I don't care what the person
from
you
the
talk
state
to.
From the state that told me absolutely
you're just
right.
a liar, like you lie.
Okay, I don't mind putting up with junk, but 85 and 65 are federal highways. Okay, I don't know what makes you think they're not, but highways like 110, which is Vaughn Road, that's a state highway, but sometimes it intermingles with 85 and 65 as a thoroughfare so they can get to the other side of it. But however, 65 and 85 are federal highways. And the federal government, I think, lends a certain amount of money or vice versa, and we help keep it up. But the highway itself, I think the act, somebody told me the act 1956. I think that's when it was. So yeah. See, I know you think you know everything, my friend, but you don't. Okay. I mean, I may not be the smartest, sharpest knife in the drawer, but I'm not a spoon. Okay, so I know a little bit. I can decipher a little bit. Okay, move right along to other things. Okay, so the reason why we never get anything changed because we never do anything different. All the black legislators downtown, they absolutely know without a shadow of a doubt that 98% of you are going to vote with them. Whites don't do that. Whites are some of the most crazy liberals I've ever seen, Democrats I've ever seen. They are. I mean, they don't. I mean, they actually believe that a man can turn himself into a woman, and a woman can turn herself into a man, and you can transfer from one sex to the other. And those are white Democrats. Okay, but they believe what they believe. I mean, that's for sure. And but whites themselves vote about 50-50 proposition when it comes to Democrat and Republican. Black folks are the only people in this country on a 98 percentile of the people that vote one way. We're the only group. There's no other group in this country that does it like we do it. And we whining, we on TV talking about ICE, and we talk all these things about, and we still never change. Okay? Don, my friend, I don't have to lie to you. Seriously, you don't affect my check. You can't fire me. I mean, why do I care what you think? It doesn't matter. But at least be accurate in what you say. Now, if there's anybody on this podcast this morning or any of the show tell you that 85 and 65 is a state highway, let it be shown by their signature on the line. If you really believe that 85 and 65 are state highways, there ought to be somebody on this saying, I know that the Greg one, I know he knows all this stuff. Okay. So let us see. Okay. Trump said he got 15% of the black vote. I don't know if he did or didn't. I don't know. I mean, do we really ever know? Seriously? Because we don't know who voted for who. Okay. But anyway, so that is why nothing ever changes. Okay. And here's another thing. I'm trying to figure out how to put this in the right way. If you are in the Alabama legislature and you're one of the 33 legislators, you represent of the House of you represent maybe 1% of the vote of the vote, or maybe a little less than 1%. So, how are you going to make a difference? I mean, seriously, there's only one way to make a difference as a minority member of the House of Representatives of the state of Alabama, or even in Congress. There's only one way to make a difference. Anybody know what way that is? Other than that, you done lost your brain picking mind. There's only one way to make a difference. If you are in the House of Representatives of the state of Alabama or the House of Representatives in the United States Senate, the United States House of Representatives, there's only one way to make a difference. Only one way. And most of our people who are running for office don't know how to do it. So am I going to have to run for one of those offices too to show you what to do? Okay, and really, am I going to have to show you? There's only one way to make a difference, and that is the one thing that we've never been seeming to able to do since we've been in the House of Representatives. We can't seem to do it. Okay. The state of Alabama does not own Interstate 65 or 85. Okay. They don't own it. It is not a state highway, Don. It is a federal highway, which came about, I think, somebody told me, in 1956. Okay, so I'm not exactly, which is one of the reasons why a lot of people were complaining in the state of Alabama when they woke up one morning and their houses were put on the block, and because they was going to run they were going to run a freeway through here. Okay, a federal highway through here. Okay, your math not adding up. Like Trump said, he's bringing down the price of prescription drugs by 500%. Well, listen, the president can't bring down any drugs. The president can't bring down eggs. Now, he can put policies in that will affect the price of eggs. Maybe transportation, a tariff here, a tariff there, maybe. But the president can't. We live in a republic, a republic, and the president cannot make prices come down, at least not very quickly. Okay, policies have to be in place. I think the bankers and the Federal Reserve have a lot more to do with changing the prices than the president does. Okay, so he can't. I mean, listen, and they make all these promises like our legislators do all the time also, and nothing ever happens because they get in there and they figure out what they can and cannot do, and what they find is there are a lot more things they can't do than they can. Okay, but one of the things, and again, there's only one thing a legislature can do to make a difference. Only one thing. And when you guys figure that one out, then you'll understand why we never change anything. So this year, 4 years from now, if I'm alive, 4 years from now, we're gonna have the same conversations because nothing will change because the people who know the secret are keeping the secret. Okay. They're just keeping the secret. They know. You don't know what the secret is. I know what the secret is. Okay. But I'm not going to help you guys on this one. Okay. Y'all keep voting. You keep voting for the Democrats. You keep voting for the Republicans. And you'll find out that the only one ends up different is you because you're broker than you used to be. Okay. Again, like Terry Sewell. Terry Sewell worth, well, just hold on. How much is Terry, SEWE? Okay, let me see now. How much is Terry Sewell worth? WORTH. See, we just don't know. Yeah, just don't. Okay, let me see now. Quicker quantitative estimates for Representative Terry Sewell is worth about, let me see, 500. Now she worth more than 548 as of February 1st, 2026. That's the 388th highest net worth in Congress per our live estimate. Sewell has approximately 195.1K invested publicly traded. Okay, yeah, Terry Sewell trading activity. Terry Sewell, Congresswoman Terry Sewell net worth 2026. Yeah, they're lying to us. Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Terry Sewell's family of companies. It always gets me. So is she part owner of Sewell Ford Lincoln Parts and Service? I didn't know that. But anyway, that's okay. Nothing wrong with owning the business because that's what we do. But her portfolio has risen by 67% in the last couple of years. Okay, 67%. That's because they know what's going up. They know what's going down. And so while they sat here and talk about all the rich people, they sat there getting rich also. Okay. Right now, she's on the vice chair of the House Ways and Means Committee. She is recognized for her backing on issues such as, her profession as politician. Her other, yeah, she used to be a lawyer, which is about the same thing. Let me see. Terry Sue worth is, let me see, how much she worth now? Okay, so her net worth, according to them, is $1.3 million. Okay. Well, she ain't the richest guy up there, but this was in 2024. I'm pretty sure she's worth a little bit more than that now. Okay. Okay, so and here's the thing she's done. Her career in 2002, she began her career as an attorney working private practice in Birmingham, Alabama. She specialized in corporate law, whatever that means, and public finance, gaining valuable legal experiences. I don't want to see that. I don't hear that more anyway. But at the end of the day, why is it that they're 50-50 used to say they go to Washington so they can make their capital. How did he put it? He had this saying about building their capital while they're in the capital. Okay. But anyway, gotta take a break. We'll be back with the ending of our little show here. Uno momento. So long as y'all got me, as long as you understand that the reason why nothing ever changes, it never really changes because we don't do anything differently. Okay. And we'll come back with the well, what can we do about it? Now what can we do about it? So hang loose. We'll be right back. Uno momento. Right after this. Okay. This educational moment has been brought to you by me, actually. By me in a minute. I don't know. I gotta ask Siri. Wait, hold it. Hey Siri, who is the richest person in the House of Representatives in the United States?
As of the latest available data, Representative Darrell Issa, of California, is the wealthiest member of the U.S. House of Representatives, with an estimated net worth of approximately $464 million. His wealth primarily stems from his successful business ventures, including founding Directed Electronics, the company behind the Viper car alarm system. That was from ChatGPT.
Okay.
Check important info for mistakes.
400, and he's a good. He's a Republican. $464 million. Now, does anybody believe that people of that worth think anything about us? I'm like Steve Harvey. Steve Harvey came to Montgomery a few years ago for the Tuskegee game with ASU, and he said, rich people don't talk about things like poor people talk about. And I didn't understand it then, but I certainly understand it now. So I'm pretty sure that if I meet if I meet Steve Harvey again, we probably won't have nothing to talk about then either. Because they don't talk about things we talk about. See, I talk about light bill, cable bill? Do I got enough gas in the car and things of that nature? Those things I talk about. But they probably talking about, well, which limo should we drive today? Okay, I wouldn't know, but I imagine there is some conversation like that. But anyway, moving right along to other things. So maybe tomorrow you guys can tell me, why is it that nothing really ever significant really ever changes when we vote? Because the American voter really don't understand that when we go downtown to vote, most of the time we're not we're not included in the thing. Okay, applying this share. Let's see, what is this? Applying this share to the estimated number of black voter yields approximately 3.1 million black votes for Trump. Okay, and of course he did get was it 77 million? So we were somewhat insignificant in putting him in office also. Okay, honestly, what is 3 million out of 77? What percentage is that? Not very many, not very percentage wise. So again, we can help you get over the hump a little bit, but we're not the reason for the hump. Okay, because they know that most of us, are going to vote Democrat. That's just the way we are. Okay, not we, but a lot of us are. Okay, I understand, but I understand. I understand what you're saying, but okay. Yeah. Okay. Let me make a. Okay, I'm just gonna, so I can just clear this up once and for all. I apologize. I've never served one day in the military. Yeah, I've never been in an airplane, a C-130, a C-123, a C-141, C-5A, Chinook, Huey. Yeah, I've never done any of that stuff. Yeah, I was never on USS Kitty Hawk. I just made it all up. Yeah, I just made it all up. Yeah, I wouldn't know the difference between a plane or I don't know what a plane or anything. Yeah, for all these years, I just told a lie. I've never, ever served in anybody's military. And that stuff on the back wall back there, I found it at a grocery store one day, and I thought it looked good on the wall. Yeah, I just didn't. Yeah, okay. Now, Don, are we good now? Okay, are we good now? Okay, I've just said. So I've never served. Forgive me for lying all these years. Yeah, I just never did it. I never worked with General Wayne Downing. At the time before he was a Ranger Battalion commander. Yeah, I wasn't there doing that. Command Sergeant Major Barajas. Yeah, I was never there. No, I was never. Yeah, I made it up because I had nothing to do that day, and so yeah, I never wore the black beret or the any of that stuff. I just made that crap up. Yeah. I just wanted to be more important than I was. I apologize. Yeah, I apologize. Yeah. Okay. So are we good now? Are we good? Okay, good for my soul. Okay, good. Okay, I just want to listen. I mean, listen. It's taken me years to get the to get. As a matter of fact, I even made up the DD form. I even made up the DD form 214. Yeah, I even made that up. Yeah. I made that up. Yeah, I made that one up too. Okay, so are we good now, Donald? Are we good? So can we just leave it alone and don't ever bring it up ever again? I've been a liar my whole 40 years. I just haven't done anything. I just kind of like just hanging out, and I wanted to be a paratrooper. Yeah, I really did. I wanted to know what it's like to stand in and endure an aircraft and run out, and go out. Yeah. See Command Sergeant Major Conrad with his 19-inch knife. Yeah. I want to see what that was like. Yeah. Only thing I ever jumped out of was a simulator. Yeah, a simulator at Fort Rucker, Alabama, someplace. Anyway, okay. So now, can we just leave that alone? As a matter of fact, tomorrow I'll have all the other stuff on the wall just taken down. Yeah. Because I wouldn't want to, I wouldn't want to make you feel. I wouldn't. Anyway, so much for that. Okay, then. So maybe listen. Now you don't even have to turn on the show anymore because you heard me say it. I've been a fraud and a fake. I don't know the difference between a T-10 and a 1-Bravo. Okay, those are parachutes, as a matter of fact. Yeah, I wouldn't know the difference. Yeah, I wouldn't know what it feels like to jump out that bird and have that chute open up in the middle and pull you up, pull you straight up to the sky. Yeah, I don't think it. Well, he don't give me a check. That's true. But I'm just saying I think he needs that to feel important. Yeah, he needs. Yeah. I need to admit that I'm just a nobody trying to tell everybody about somebody. Okay. See, there he is right there. See, he's feeling better already. So if I've done anything to help Don feel better, that I am good to go. All right. And listen, let me apologize to all the guys who put their knees in the breeze over the skies of the world. When I get off today, I'm just going to go down to get me a biscuit and sausage and just slap myself all in the face for daring to suggest that I did the same thing a lot of those brave young men did. So let me, as a matter of fact, I hope I can make it to work tomorrow for the sorrow that I'm going to be belabored with for the rest of the day. Okay, I'm just hoping that's what happens. Okay, there's more to life than a check. That's true. That's true. But anyway, the Greg. Good morning. Hope you have a great day. Now, maybe tomorrow you guys can actually tell me why it is. Hey, Joe, what's going on there, dog? Maybe tomorrow you guys could tell me why it is that nothing ever changes, even though we've been doing all this voting for all these years. Now, I have the answer, but I just want you guys to understand what that answer. Where do you work? I work right here. I work right here. Hank Williams said, I saw the light. Okay, then. Right on, brother. Listen, I got to go. Time's up. Time is up. Time is up. But you guys have a great day. And yeah. And always remember what I tell you every day before I leave. It is not the falling down that gives you the strength. It is the getting up each and every time you do. Good morning. I got to go back and take all that stuff off the wall now, that Army stuff that I've never been in. So I got to touch it. Like, hey, tomorrow I'll have a Salvation Army thing back there because I did work with those guys. We'll be back. Have a great day. In a gentle breeze, grateful heart with such sweet